T. Burcham. Welcome to People and Projects. So nice to have you along today. Interesting person, fascinating project. Erica Payne, Springfield City Youth Mission. Welcome, Erica. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. Honored to have you here.
Thank you.
I got an email the other day from someone in your office asking about mentoring. We'll get into it, but I think there's some mentorship possibilities in the Springfield, Ohio area. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Yes?
Absolutely.
But first, let's get to know Erica Payne.
All right. Yeah,
You are, I believe, the executive director. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay. Springfield City Youth Mission.
hmm
How long you been with the mission there, and how'd you get there?
Wow. So that's a fun story that I love to tell. Thank you for asking. So I actually we call ourselves SKIM. I was a SKIM kid. So I attended the programming when I was a kid. And then I've been here on staff for about 14 years now.
That is so cool. So
Yeah.
you know the SKIM project well.
I do. I
That
do.
is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
So we're talking to someone who has all the answers.
I hope so. I sure hope so. Yeah, I was a skim kid. I come from an unchurched family. My family is not believers, and so I kind of went to a skim after school program because my friends were going, and I wanted to hang out with them, and ended up getting connected to a church through there and started going to youth group and became a believer. Eventually, became a missionary in Bogota, Colombia, and I came back and started on staff with SKIM. So it was kind of a full circle situation.
That is so cool. And in that, we already learn a little bit about SKIM. So
Yeah.
what's the mission of SKIM? How did it get started? What's the history of SKIM?
Yeah. So SKIM has been around since 1998 with the mission of just connecting kids to Christ. And so we primarily do that through after school programs we've had a wide range of programming throughout the years. But it was started by a guy named Jeff Pinkleton. And if you're from the area, you probably know Jeff, and a group of local pastors and leaders who just said, "Hey, like our kids in the area really need something like this," and so they started it back in '98, and so we've been kind of going with the after school thing ever since.
So how does SKIM work? How does someone get referred, get involved as a student?
Mhm.
How do they find their way to SKIM?
Yeah, so we partner with local schools. We have a really good running relationship with Springfield City School District, and so we partner with them, and we're after school and we're off site, so there's no issue with the church and state situation. But we partner with them and we say, hey, we have these after school programs. Some of them are for younger elementary school kids to help with reading. We have an after school program that's for middle schoolers where they get to become their own small business entrepreneur, and we teach them how to do that, and they get to keep their own proceeds, which they love. And we have an after school program right now where we it's for older elementary school students, and they just come, and it's called Explorers, and they get to kind of explore different career fields and hobbies, things like that. So we just connect through the schools. They can either get referred by a counselor or just kind of see our flyer or word of mouth.
So generally, after school programs are the bread and butter, so to speak. It's really
Yeah.
what you spend time on. Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Um, how do you find people? I think here we might get into mentorship. I'm guessing
Yeah.
that's why you're looking for people to help. Yes.
Yes.
How,
So we're
how can folks help?
yeah. So you could volunteer at one of those after school programs. We're always looking for people who want to connect with kids. And are excited to help the next generation. And we're also in a couple of weeks launching our one-on-one mentoring program, which we're affectionately calling the Legacy Project. So the legacy project is for one adult and one student, the adult who we vet very well. But they are connecting and they're meeting once a week for an hour, kind of on your own time. This really attracts people who maybe work those typical 9 to 5 hours who can't make it to an after school program, but still want to connect with kids in our community. And so it's just any time for an hour. A week, and the commitment initially is for 1 year. We know that if we connect a student with an adult and that lasts for less than a year, it actually does more harm than good. And so the initial commitment is a year with the hopes that they'll travel with that or go with that kid, mentoring them beyond that 1 year.
Yeah. What kind of training or schooling or requirements are there to be a mentor?
Yeah. So there's no schooling. If you can think of right now, like think of something that you wish an adult would have told you when you were a child. And I'm sure that there's something because
Yeah.
everyone has something,
Sure.
some kind of wisdom to give, right?
Yeah.
But we do have requirements, right? We want to make sure that our kids are safe.
Yeah.
So we do have an interview process. We do background checks, things like that. But really, you don't have to be in a special career field or we do require that our mentors are Christ followers. That's very important to us as our mission is to connect kids to Christ. So we want to make sure that our mentors are doing that. But everybody has something to give. So.
Okay, I'm going to ask a bad question here.
There's no bad question.
It sounds a little big brother, big sister-ish. You ever get compared to that organization? I mean, it sounds like that with a Christ involvement also.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Sorry,
that's not a bad question. I compare ourselves to them all the time. I'm like, if you know what Big Brothers and Big Sisters is, that's what we're doing here, but we're adding Jesus to it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nothing against that organization, but adding Christ in makes it mighty important to a person's development and growth and learning. So
it sure does.
Yeah, that is awesome. Very cool.
Thanks.
So, and particularly now you're located, you talked about Springfield City Schools. You work with a handful of schools. So do those mentors need to be in that district or just able to get to that location? How does location work?
Yeah. I mean, it's really up to the person. If you live outside of Springfield and you're willing to travel to Springfield, that's all we need, right? We just need people who are going to consistently show up. So there's no requirement about where you have to live, just that you are able to show up for our kids.
I'm going to ask another tricky question here, Erica.
Okay.
You mentioned you called it SKIM Kid.
Yeah.
That means at one time you had a sponsor, a mentor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So when I was a SKIM kid, we won't say when, but back in the day, we actually didn't have our one-on-one mentoring program. However, there were quite a few people from the church that we were connected to. So the after school program that I went to was held at a church. Okay. And that was intentional, right? To make sure that we're connecting kids to a church family. We know that we see them once a week, and there's only so much that we can do with them once a week for a couple of hours. So we want to connect them to a church family. And so that's what they did. They connected me to that church family. There were people from that church that kind of poured into me and showed interest in me and my siblings. We all ended up going to that program. There are 4 younger than me. Yeah. And yeah, that's how we got connected. So I ended up, having a mentor who, not in an official capacity, but someone who just poured into me and really cared. Even as I became a teenager, she would just reach out and say, "Hey, Erica, I'm praying for you. And I did not walk a great path as a teenager. And so even during those times, even when I was, posting silly things on social media that I should not have been posting on social media. Yeah, we still had, I still had that person reaching out saying like, Jesus loves you so much. We're always here for you. I'd love to see you. I'd love to get coffee, and those things made a big difference, because then once my heart was ready to step back into that and what the Lord had for me, I had somewhere to go.
Yeah, neat.
I knew where to turn.
And so having been through it, you understand now the value of that one-on-one, and thus your new exciting program.
Exactly.
Now, talk about funding real quick. Is there money involved? I mean, are donors helpful?
Yeah, 100%. So we are funded by the government right now, 0%. And we are really happy to be in that place of not having government regulations, but that means that we are funded through local believers and organizations. And so, yeah, donors are certainly helpful.
Okay. Now, the one thing we didn't do, I bet there's a website or a phone number or some way for folks to get involved if they would like to volunteer or become a mentor or go through the qualification process. How do they do that? Where should they go?
So the easiest way is going to be to go to our website, which is crushtheodds.org.
Crushtheodds.org.
Crushtheodds.org. Our like slogan is that we are helping kids crush the odds with the love of God.
Love that.
And so that's going to be the quickest way. And you can also email us at scym@crushtheodds.org. So skim@crushtheodds.org.
Very cool. Very cool. Just a couple minutes left. If money was no object, what are some of the wild and crazy things that Skim might get involved in to help youth in the Springfield, Ohio area?
Yeah. So my big dream would be that we were able to bring on more staff so we can continue doing one-on-one mentoring, and every child in the Springfield area that wanted a mentor would have one.
Yeah.
Because we want to do this really well, we only take on up to 20 mentor matches a year. And that's so that we can be really intentional with the children. But there are so many children who we know personally who have said, I would love to have a mentor if only they existed, right? If only I could, I would love that opportunity. So kids are hungry for positive adults in their life. And so that would be the dream, is just to be able to, every child in Springfield area who wants a mentor would have one.
So I hear you saying right now, there really is more demand than can be served at the moment.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Well, pretty exciting. We appreciate what you're doing. Not everyone can do what you're doing, and we appreciate you doing it. Thank you. It's an important job.
Thank you so much, JT.
So cool.
Thanks.
Now, just in the last 30 seconds, I understand that you also, Erica Payne, thought about being on the radio at one point in your career. Well, that's what you're doing right now. So
I am. Yeah.
Thank you for all the great training.
It's so fun to be here. It's so fun to do it, even just for a small bit.
Yeah, well, sincerely, thank you for what you're doing. We appreciate it very much. One more time, crushtheodds.org. Crushtheodds.org. I love that website.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erica. Take care. Appreciate what you do.
You too.
We'll do it again soon.
Of course.
Okay. Thank you.